Hi, and welcome to Hull & Hull TV. I'm Suzana Popovic-Montag, the managing partner of Hull & Hull, and I am very pleased to be here today with our co-founding partner, Ian Hull, and our associate counsel and very good friend, Jordan Atin. At Hull & Hull TV, we explore issues that relate to estate, trust, and capacity matters that may affect you. And today, we're going to continue on a previous discussion that we had on second marriages. In our prior discussions, we looked at things from a client's perspective. And today we're going to look at it more from a lawyer's perspective. And so, Jordan, starting with you, when we have these situations where clients are coming to us and they're in a second marriage situation and they basically have their own, former families, what kind of issues arise from a lawyer's perspective that you see in your practice?
Well, I'm very careful about those situations where two spouses who have children from prior relationships come to see me. In fact, I have this hard and fast rule, and I'm probably the only one around, but I don't act for both spouses in a second relationship. So what we'll often do is we'll meet together, but I will only act for one spouse, and I will send the other spouse out for independent legal advice to their own lawyer.
And Ian, what about you?
Well, I embrace that concept. I do think it's a little bit of belt and suspenders in some situations. Certainly, when I look at a couple that comes to see me, and especially in smaller communities, it's not as easy to have the luxury of saying to them, now that you've downloaded all of your information and you've given us the estate plan that you want us to manufacture and maneuver, now we need you to layer on, first of all, finding another lawyer, and second of all, the cost of it. But having said that, I do not disagree with the idea that in a perfect world, that is the way to manage it. And it does not surprise me that Jordan has a hard and fast rule because he's a very careful solicitor, and that kind of practice is absolutely the safest way to go.
You know why I have a hard and fast rule? It's because I don't want to get necessarily down the road with the clients after an hour meeting and get that, that feeling that we get that something's not quite right. And so, what you want to do, I find, is I don't want to get down that road. And I want to say from the beginning that we're not going to act. Because once I get down that road, now I'm in a conflict. I don't know, can I act for one of them even? Or what? And so that's why I have that hard and fast rule.
And sometimes what I will do is I will just approach it on this. I say, look, there are going to be some conflicts here. And if you are both prepared to allow me to manage those conflicts, identify them, and you have to sign off that there are conflicts and that they're expecting me to still continue, then I will continue. But the red flags are important, and I think it comes down to often a situation of what kind of estate plan is going to be established. If I'm looking at a couple and it's a straightforward to each other on death, and then on the death of the survivor, equally to the two families, I'm much more comfortable acting for both the spouses.
And I would disagree with you on that, because I would say to you, that's exactly the kind of problem or will plan that's going to cause a problem, because the surviving spouse is going to receive the entire estate and now turns around, changes their will. And the children from the will maker of the first spouse says, that's not what Dad wanted. He didn't want everything to go to my stepmom's family. And so I'd say to you, that's exactly the kind of situation where you do walk into a conflict.
Happy to disagree.
Wouldn't be the first time.
And I guess that really is why we've got the rules of professional conduct that we can look to for guidance, because there's not necessarily going to be a right answer. And as we see from two experts who can't agree, that can in fact happen. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us at Hull & Hull TV.